Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic. For today's episode, I thought I'd be taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Snake Tail action figure. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at this guy. Krang, tired of taking on the turtles without professional help, hires the sinister bounty hunter from the Dimension X known as Scale. Armed to the teeth, or in this case his tongue, this sinister snake has his sights set on the turtles. Alright, so here we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Scale action figure. Now this guy came out towards the end of the Ninja Turtles line, but with the amount of detail on him, it shows just how much they improved on their sculpting techniques over the years. I mean, look at that scaly skin on him. Keeping in mind that back in the day, these guys were carved out of clay and then wax, so someone actually had to go in there and carve all these little details by hand. And details, I mean, he's swimming in them. I love his Egyptian armor on here. You can see the little scarabs and all the other ornate details, and I actually think it's kind of neat that it's armor over this raggedy old blue tank top. You see that he has an arm brace built in right here and some sort of jewelry that, even though it's not painted, you can kind of tell it's right there. He has a gun sculpted on his tail along with a knife and a little poison canteen. And I'm not really sure what this is, but it's some sort of Egyptian jewelry. I just know that it's helping to stabilize him as he stands up. He also has other little snakes that are carved into his tail, and yeah, even though they're not painted, they probably should be. You can figure that, yeah, they're snakes, they're going to be green just like him. I really like how this little cobra is actually just sticking out of the back of this gun on his tail. I'm guessing that guy's in charge of shooting anybody that tries to sneak up on him behind him. Another nice little feature that can be easily overlooked is his tongue. I hope you can see it on the camera, but it kind of has this sort of machine gun or acid spraying tube feel. And I guess that goes along with his backpack, which is supposed to be a poison container. To me, it always looks like a jetpack. Keep in mind that Rocketeer came out around the same time as this guy, so whenever I saw a backpack back then, I always thought, oh, jetpack. He also has this gun that fits in his one hand, and it has a little back brace right here, or forearm brace, but it doesn't kind of quite fit on there, and it kind of gets in the way, and it's a little bit of a hindrance, so that's the only little downside as far as his weapons go. His other weapon was his electro whip, although there's nothing really on here that indicates that it's electrical of some sort. And you can kind of fit it in his one lower mouth right here. I mean, the teeth and jaws are just open just enough for you to hold it, but because it's such an odd shaped arm, you can't really do too much with it. If you're wanting him to hold it, it's better to have him hold it in this hand. I really wish that this arm did a little bit more than just actually being a bunch of snake tentacles. I guess maybe if they could have been bendy or pliable, that would have been cool, but I'm guessing it would have increased the cost of this toy just a little bit too much. As far as his articulation goes, it's pretty standard regarding his upper body. His head can move side to side, but because his hood actually isn't attached to his head, it doesn't hinder the movement in any way. Both of his arms can actually move up and down, as you've seen with this one. However, this arm is the only one that actually has a bicep swivel. He has a chest swivel right here, and I guess that's because as you probably noticed, he doesn't have any legs. He just has this segmented joint snake tail, which I really like. When this guy came out, I had never seen another action figure with this type of design built into the tail. You gotta remember, up till now, a lot of the snake characters that came out, they either had pre-sculpted tails that you couldn't do anything with, or the tails were just solid pieces of rubber that wouldn't move, or if they did move, they'd have a wire in them. But the tails were so thick that you couldn't actually bend them in any positions that you wanted. So the fact that you can actually get the tail to wrap around this much, or even wrap around the neck or waist of a turtle, I actually think that's really cool. If they were to remake this guy, I wish they would actually implement some sort of socket joint here so you can actually bend it in a lot more positions, but that's only if they remake this guy. Even though he came out towards the end of the line when I was starting to phase out of playing with Ninja Turtles, I have no regrets buying him. From his interesting design and his tremendous amount of detail, Scale is one that I have no problems displaying on my shelf. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please help me out by sharing, liking, or even subscribing. Comments and advice are also appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.